Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen and welcome if you are new. I'm so excited you're here today. Today is a very special video. This is a collaboration with two of my sweet friends on YouTube, Christy from Christy's Farmhouse and Melissa from I'm Merely Melissa. I will leave a link for their channels in the description box. Please go check them out, as well as the playlist for everybody that collabed on this whole video, or video collection, sorry. I'm excited for this one. We are gonna have some tasty recipes. I cannot wait to see what my friends are doing for Christmas. These are all Christmas breakfast videos. So everything breakfast, everything you could imagine is going to be in these videos. So watch this, get some great ideas, get ready for the holidays, get ready for your Christmas brunches, your Christmas breakfast, however your family does it. I'm excited to share 3 recipes with you that are a tradition in our family that we love to make for Christmas. Everybody enjoys them. We can't wait for Christmas morning to enjoy these things. So let's get in the kitchen and let's make some fun Christmas breakfast recipes. All right, we are gonna start with our bread because it needs to rise for an hour. I love this bread, friends. It is so tasty and it's stunning on your table. It makes a beautiful presentation. So your friends are gonna be so impressed with this. It's super easy, but it looks like it took you forever to do, but it really didn't. So let's get it made. All right, first off, we need to go our 2/3 of a cup of milk in the microwave and get it warmed. I'm gonna do it for 1 minute. As with anything with yeast, you don't want to overheat your liquid because it will kill your yeast. So while that's going, we're gonna add everything else to our mixer. We've got 3 tablespoons of sugar. We've got a 1/2 cup or 1 stick of salted butter. The recipe calls for unsalted. So let me tell you something, friends. I have been baking forever. I am in my 50s and I have always used salted butter, even when the recipe tells me not to. I always use salted butter because I am not gonna go spend money on unsalted butter when I don't use it. It's just not something I use. So we've got our butter and our sugar. We need 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm gonna eyeball it because I hate taking this lid off. It is such a pain. And if I take the lid off and I forget to put it back on, I have a mess on my hands. So I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna need 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And I am still going to put in my pinch of salt, even though I'm using salted butter. I'm using Redmans real salt. If I have not told you about Redmans real salt before, it is fantastic salt, friends. Oh my gosh. The flavor, my husband and I did not believe it at first until we bought some. We wanted to give it a shot, so we bought some and tried it. And I can totally tell a difference. Let's give our milk about 30 seconds more. This, friends, is Redmans real salt. This is the only salt that is made in the United States. Most of our salt comes from overseas. It has been cut with all kinds of things. Makes 0 sense to me why they would take perfectly good salt from the salt mines and cut it and add things to it and then reprocess it to make salt. This stuff is directly from the mines in Utah and it is amazing. It is worth the money, friends. So check out Redmans real salt. They're not sponsored, but it is my favorite salt. I just ordered 3 more big bags like this from Amazon because I was out. I actually let myself run out. So I ordered the 3-pack. So when I open the last bag, I'll reorder. I'll leave a link for this in the description box for you guys for the Amazon order that I did for this one for the 3, but I'll also leave a link for you guys for the Redmans real salt. So you can guys check out their mines and stuff. It's super fascinating. All right, so we have our milk. And I'm gonna let that cool just a second because it feels a little bit warm to me. So let's get our butter and our sugar mixed real quick with our seasonings in here, our spices in here. Let's go ahead and put our tablespoon of yeast. And yes, I keep my yeast in a bag in the freezer because I don't go through it fast enough and yeast will go bad on you if it isn't properly stored. So I like to keep it in my freezer in one of my reusable Ziploc bags. I'll leave a link for these in the description box also because they are fantastic. That looked a little bit shy to me, so we're gonna add just a little pinch more. So yes, I keep my yeast in my reusable Ziploc bags in the freezer. All right, let's give this a little stir. It does not tell me in the recipe to do this. It does not tell me to mix my yeast and milk together, but I'm going to. All right, let's get all of our yeast off of here. You don't want to waste any of that. Okay. We're going to add this right in here into our butter mixture. Let's get a spatula where I get all of this yeast, because if we don't have the right amount of yeast, we're not going to have the right amount of rise in our bread. Okay, the recipe calls for 2.5 to 3 cups of flour. Now, when you are working with flour, temperature and humidity and all those things take a lot of, or they add a lot to your recipe. So you want to only do the minimum at first and then keep adding if you need to. I have learned the lesson the hard way, and I don't want to have to add extra liquid to this to make up for adding too much flour. So we're going to start off with just our first 2 cups. As I am making a mess all over my kitchen. Okay, we're going to let this get started. See how this looks with 2 cups. If we need to add a little bit more, then we will, but we want this to be a nice soft dough. I don't want to get too much in here, so let's just do a 1/2 cup and see where we're at. That's the thing with dough, you can always add, but you can't take away. So if you add too much flour, then you've got to add more liquid to it, and I don't want to do that. So I just want us to have a really soft, beautiful dough for our bread. Let's look at our dough. Oh yeah, that's perfect, friends. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. We're gonna give this bowl a little spray. We're just gonna use a little bit of avocado oil. That's gonna keep our dough from sticking to our bowl while it rises. Now this needs to go in the warmest part of my kitchen. My house is pretty warm right now. Our little puppies were pretty cold, and so we decided to crank up the heat. So it's pretty warm in here, so I'm not worried about it not rising. Let's get all of this dough out of here. Oh my God, look at this dough, friends. That is beautiful. That is so pretty. All right, so we're gonna drop it like that, swirl, and then flip it. This gives us an oiled side so that it does not stick to our saran wrap. It's not gonna stick to the bowl. And we're gonna let this go for an hour and rise, and we'll come back and we're gonna finish this delicious bread. All right, friends, our dough is beautiful. It's nicely risen. We're gonna get this rolled out, and we're gonna get this dough rising for the second time. It needs to rise for 1 more hour. That's why I was saying this is a perfect recipe for you to do the night before. You can do this recipe up super quick. You can get it risen for the first hour, get it formed, and then put it in the fridge. Get it out in the morning while you're getting everything else ready for breakfast. Let it do its final rise out of the fridge, and then bake it, and you're gonna have a fresh and beautiful raspberry wreath. So let's get this finished. All right, before I put flour down, I want to show you guys my new mat. I'm so excited about this. This is huge. It's bigger than my counter, which is fine because I will probably put someplace else. I have another counter to put it on, but this is amazing. I love this thing. It's so cool. I can spread this out. It's got a good place for me to measure out my pie crust. It's got some measurements over here. It's got measurements down the side if you want to measure out your dough, whatever. It's silicone. It's amazing. So I'm excited. I'll leave a link for this in the description. First time getting to use this, but I'm excited. So we're going to get a little bit of flour down on our board. I'm going to remove my jewelry because it never fails. I always end up with dough in my rings, and I don't like trying to dig it out. So Let's go ahead and put our flour, spread this out because we need to get this into a rectangle so we can get this filled. But I'm telling you, friends, this is going to be so good for Christmas morning. All right, let's put our dough down. I'm going to get a little bit of flour on my rolling pin because I don't want this to stick. And we're going to get this into a rectangle. But this dough, friends, is absolutely amazing. It feels so nice. Let's do a little bit this way. Try to get this as close to an even rectangle as we possibly can. I think that's looking about right, friends. That looks good to me. All right, we're gonna fill this with raspberry jam. I'm using my favorite, let's see if I can get it open. We're just gonna put this raspberry jam right on top of this dough. As I said in the recipe, it tells you that it gives you a recipe to make raspberry jam. I just didn't really feel the need to. So I'm just going with my favorite store-bought raspberry jam. If you want to take the time to make that jam recipe, by all means, go ahead. I just don't feel like I need to today. I've been in the kitchen so much here recently, and I am tired. So I'm trying to take this one a little bit easier, but this is going to be amazing. Something a little bit different than cinnamon rolls, which is a very popular thing for Christmas morning. Everybody does cinnamon rolls, orange rolls, but this is just something that's going to have an absolute wow factor. You don't want to go all the way to the edge, but you want to go pretty close. And make sure that you have a good amount of raspberry jam in this. I think that's going to be probably good enough. Let's just make sure we have it spread out evenly. All right, now on to rolling. We're gonna roll this way. So kind of like a typewriter, you wanna fold it over and pull it to yourself a little bit so that you end up with a nice tight roll. Otherwise you end up with these pockets, and nobody wants pockets. But I'm telling you, friends, this smells so good already. Okay, let's pull up our top. We're gonna go ahead and pinch the seam together so it stays together. It's a really soft dough. Let's go ahead and roll it this way. All right, now we're gonna take our bench scraper. We're gonna cut this in half. Just like that. So you end up with this, you can see that right there. You can see the jam in the middle of it. Now we are going to braid this. So we want to push our ends together, and we're going to very carefully pick up our dough. This dough is very soft, so be very careful with it. And now we're gonna take our dough and we are gonna form a wreath. We're gonna pinch our ends together. Let's wipe up part of our board here so we can set our pan down. I don't want to get all of this jam and flour all over the outside of my baking sheet. Here's my baking sheet. We're going to get this on our baking sheet. Didn't leave myself enough room, friends. Okay. All right, we're going to get this onto our baking sheet. I'm going to grab this seam just like that. Make sure that we have our seam together over here. All right, here's our roll. I'm gonna twist this one more time just to get a little more of that raspberry up top. We're gonna cover this and this is gonna rise for 1 more hour. All right, friends, here is our beautiful dough ready to go in the oven. I can't tell you the smell. Oh my gosh, friends, it smells so good. This is gonna bake at 340 degrees, which I thought was weird, but 340 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. We'll check it at about 25 minutes and see where we're at with doneness. Make sure it doesn't get too brown, but this is gonna be amazing. All right, friends, my gosh, my house smells so good right now. We're gonna pull our braid out of the oven. This smells absolutely incredible. It's going to be beautiful once we get the glaze on it that needs to go on this. But here is our raspberry braid. That smells so good, friends. We're gonna let this sit here. It's gonna cool for just a little bit, and then we're gonna be ready to put a glaze on this, put some chopped pistachios on it, and it's going to be a beautiful Christmas braid. So we'll see in a little bit. And Chiros, we're gonna start with our black beans. We need to get these warmed. I don't wanna drain all of the liquid off of these. I wanna save a little bit of it. Oh, this one's down there tight. We're gonna save a little bit of the liquid because I need to mash these, because these are going to go on top of our tostada shells. So let me drain a little bit of liquid off. We're just gonna get these going, heating up in our pan. We're gonna mash those a little bit, but not until we get them started. So we've just got some pork chorizo. It's my favorite. This is not my favorite brand to use. This one has got quite a bit of liquid or fat, basically, what it is. And it's fine. It just requires draining it more than the other chorizos that I've tried, but my store was out of my favorite brand of chorizo today, so I had to go with the second best thing. And this is fine. It's just going to require, you know, putting this on a paper towel and draining it a little bit before we proceed with our breakfast. Turn our heat on about medium. I don't want to cook this too hot because it will burn really, really quickly if we're not watching it, staying on top of it. So we're just going to start it on medium. This is one of our favorite Christmas breakfasts, but it's also a breakfast that we really enjoy when we're out camping. It's one of my favorite things to make when we're out camping. It's just a really tasty breakfast. It's a beautiful breakfast. It's pretty hearty depending on how many of these that you eat, but with all the layers of beautiful flavors that go on in these things, I just love this specific recipe. Keeping with the Christmas theme, friends, we're gonna put in a little bit of red and green bell pepper just to add a little bit more flavor to our chorizo. Does this not look like Christmas already, friends? Instead of putting regular onion, I'm just gonna do a little bit of our dehydrated onion from Costco. I don't want a ton of onion in this, but I do want a little bit of onion flavor. So we're just gonna let these peppers kind of sweat out just a little bit with this chorizo and let this cook for about 5 to 6 minutes. We just want the onions to rehydrate. We want the bell peppers to kind of soften up just a little bit. We're down on low heat, so nothing's gonna burn. We're just gonna let this cook for a couple minutes. And we're gonna finish off our braid. We're gonna put a little bit of milk and some powdered sugar. We're gonna make a little bit of a glaze to finish this off. Just making a really simple glaze, nothing hard. Let's give this a good whisk, get all the lumps from the powdered sugar out. It's just a tad bit too runny. Let's put just a little more powdered sugar. So let's give this another little whisk, see how we are with our consistency. I think this is gonna do it. Yeah, I think we're good. We are perfect, friends. This looks amazing. Let's get all the lumps out of there. That's beautiful. So we're just gonna use our whisk to drizzle this on. Nice and rustic. We want to have a good amount of glaze on here because we're going to put some pistachios on top, and we want to make sure those pistachios have something to stick to. some pistachios on this while the glaze is still wet. This smells so good, friends, I'm telling you. How could you not want to serve this to your friends and family for Christmas brunch? Look at that. That is going to be so tasty. We're gonna let our glaze set up, let our pistachios stick, and we're gonna slice this up. We're gonna finish our huevos rancheros. We've got a special drink. Friends, our chorizo with our peppers is ready. We're gonna finish our beans. We're just gonna use our meat masher. We're just gonna mash them. I don't want these completely pulverized like refried beans. I still want some texture. I put some butter back here in my little egg pan. We're gonna turn that down on kind of a low heat. We're gonna get our eggs in there. We've got some tostada shells. We're gonna put those on our baking sheet. This chorizo smells so good with the peppers and onions in it. Our spatula and just kind of go around the inside of these cups and make sure that they're really well coated with butter so our eggs don't stick. We'll keep our spatula out so we can dig our eggs out. Eggs back here with a little bit of salt and pepper. Just put our tostada shells in the oven. Our chorizo is done. Our beans are done. Our eggs are almost there. Just a couple, like maybe 30 seconds left on the eggs. Okay, while we're waiting, we're gonna make a couple of Christmas beverages. We've got some pomegranate juice. We've got some really good apple cider or apple juice. Sorry, this is, yes, it's simply apple juice, but it's amazing. We have a couple of orange twists. We're gonna go ahead and put these in our glass at the bottom so that we can let our juice infuse as we fill them. We're gonna put in, I'm gonna say about a cup of this apple juice. Put in a little bit of our pomegranate juice. Now these are non-alcoholic, but you could make them with alcohol if you choose to. But there's our holiday drinks. This is a perfect avocado, friends. Look at that. All right, let's get these things put together. Here's our tostada shells. We're gonna start with a scoop of black beans on each one of our tostadas. Now, if you want to make these vegetarian, you totally can. You can stop right here with the black beans and not add the chorizo, but we love chorizo, so we're gonna add it. Kind of help me spread these beans around a little bit. I love the mixture of these black beans with the egg yolk, with the chorizo and everything on it. It's so tasty. Just like a little bit of our chorizo with our peppers and our onions. before we finish our toppings. Now my husband loves red onion, so we're going to do a little bit of red onion on his. I love tomato, he loves tomato, so we're going to put a little tomato on these. It's just all the colors that go on these that just makes them absolutely beautiful. Do a little bit of fresh avocado. We've kind of got that Christmas vibe going with the red tomato, the green avocado. And we like to serve a little bit of extra avocado on the side because you can only get so much on top of these without them being overloaded. So we will put a little bit in a bowl on the side so people can add a little bit more if they would like to their huevos. But these are just, I'm telling you friends, they're stunning for Christmas. The colors are just so beautiful. Two things to go on here is our queso fresco cheese. If you're not familiar with queso fresco, I highly recommend it. Let's just take off a little piece. And we're just gonna do a crumbling of this cheese. Looks like snow on top of our huevos. You definitely do have the Christmas colors going on here with the red and the green and the white. There's just so many beautiful colors. We're gonna put on here is some Mexican sour cream. Let's give it a stir. Just gonna take our spoon and just kind of drizzle this all over the top. If you want to go to the trouble, you can put this in a Ziploc bag or a piping bag and pipe it on top, but you know what, we're going for rustic and it's going to be tasty, it's going to be beautiful. All right friends, here is our Christmas huevos rancheros. Let's cut into this bread, friends. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? That's going to be so pretty on our plate. Friends, here is our Christmas brunch. Here we go. We've got our huevos rancheros. We've got our beautiful Christmas braid. This is ready for brunch. This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to eat this. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen today as we made a delicious Christmas brunch. Hope you guys will try these recipes. As I said, this video is part of a collaboration with two of my sweet friends on YouTube, Melissa from I'm Merely Melissa and Christy from Christy's Farmhouse. Please check out the links for their channels in the description box. Amazing channels. They do some really fun stuff on their channels. Make sure you check out the playlist that's also in the description for this video. For all the other YouTube channels that are collabing on this, you're gonna get some great recipes to get you through the Christmas holidays. I hope you guys will try all of them. If you're here from the collab, welcome. I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll subscribe and check out what we're doing. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. And friends, it's Christmas. Find time to be present in the moment. That's what's super important about Christmas, is that we are present in the moment with our family and friends, because it just means so much to them when you take time out of your day to spend time. It takes me so much to me when you take time out of your day to spend time with me as well. So friends, try these recipes, try all these recipes. Come back and see what we're gonna do in the future, another video. We're not done with our 12 days of Christmas yet. We still have a couple more days to go. So stay tuned for all of those videos. And friends, if you have not yet, please hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Give this video a like because that really helps my channel grow. And we'll talk to you guys in the comments. Have a great day, friends, and God bless, and Merry Christmas.